Member for Penrith.
My question is to the Attorney
If
General.
you've got an allegation or
Can the Attorney General please update the House on the Minns Labor government's work to increase community safety by increasing penalties for perpetrators and strengthening protections for victims?
Call the Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I thank the member for Penrith for her question. Mr Speaker, when ministers in this government say community safety is our top priority, we mean it. And you can see from some of the reforms that we've undertaken in a short period of time that that's the case. Let's start with domestic violence, Mr Speaker. We've embarked on significant reform to strengthen protections for victim survivors of family and domestic violence. We've given the community greater certainty around bail decisions by ensuring they can only be made by a judge or a magistrate and no longer a registrar. We've introduced tough new penalties for breaches of ADVOs, punishable by up to 5 years in jail. We've enacted 2 new ADVO offences targeting serious repeat behaviour that will hold perpetrators to account. All new measures, none of them were enacted by the previous government, all new. Mr Speaker, AVOs and ADVOs are designed to protect vulnerable people from a range of threatening and harmful behaviours, including harassment, intimidation, stalking and violence. We're always looking at ways the law can be improved to better protect victim survivors of domestic and family violence. That's why the government has, in addition to that, made it harder for those accused of serious domestic violence offences to get bail, Mr Speaker. And when certain serious alleged domestic violence offenders do get bail, they must be electronic monitored by the experts in corrective services, not by private electronic monitoring companies, by a government department, answerable to the government at the end of a phone when a minister rings. Mr Speaker, in addition to this, high-risk domestic violence offenders will be subject to new strict monitoring and supervision under the new serious domestic abuse prevention orders that the police wanted and that we enacted. These new laws are tough, Mr Speaker, and they need to be. I've said before, domestic and family violence offenders are amongst the state's most dangerous criminals. Now, Mr Speaker, I want to congratulate the Minister for Corrections as well for recent amendments to the Victims Register. We acknowledge that there are severe impacts for people directly or indirectly exposed to crime. It's important that victim survivors are notified about critical information about an offender. So significant reforms to the state's Victims Register recently passed the New South Wales Parliament, and these ensure that victim survivors of serious crimes receive mandatory notifications about their right to sign up as a registered victim and to receive critical information about the offender. Those who opt in will receive timely, accurate and trauma-informed updates regarding the perpetrator's progress through the custodial system. And these, Mr Speaker, may include details about the offender's location, their sentence, their parole eligibility, and in fact any changes that may affect the victim's safety and well-being. Mr Speaker, registered victims also have the right to make a submission about an offender's parole where relevant. These are good and timely reforms.
I call the member for Penrith.
Speaker, I seek an extension for further information.
Additional 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. These are good and timely reforms. They are an important step to help victim survivors engage in the legal process in a way that's empowering, trauma-informed and promotes recovery. Now, Mr Speaker, again, because community safety is our top priority, we are also banning privately funded electronic monitoring. We are not satisfied with the performance of privately funded electronic monitoring arrangements and recognise the system needs to change. So this prohibition will also importantly include transitional arrangements to enable those offenders currently subject to private electronic monitoring to be brought quickly back before the courts to sort out their position. Importantly, this ban will not affect electronic monitoring that is overseen by corrective services. They do an excellent job for people accused of serious domestic violence offences and offenders on parole. And Mr Speaker, we'll continue to look at ways the law can be improved to protect the community. So, Mr Speaker, we're also focused on breaking the cycle of youth offending and keeping the community safe. I note there will be a petition this afternoon where we will discuss this further, so I'll leave my comments until then. So, Mr Speaker, just in conclusion, we always keep a watching brief on all of our laws that are designed to keep people safe, and I hope that our record to date demonstrates a clear willingness to act whether it's in relation to protecting domestic violence victim survivors, tightening bail settings, reforming the Victims Register, investing in support services or addressing youth crime. We've shown a willingness to listen to the community, to take decisive action to protect the community, and that work will never stop.